What's up, YouTubers? It's Joe Fitz. Welcome to my Week 3 wagering podcast here for the NFL. If you followed my picks last week, you did well. As far as losers is concerned, we had Oakland for 2.5 units, Miami for a unit and a half, and Pittsburgh for 2 units. Those were losers, but winners, we had Tampa Bay, Carolina under 3 units, Arizona for 2.5 units, Jacksonville for 3 units, and Atlanta for 4 units. We had a good week. That's plus 6.5 units. Um, if you followed my picks, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. I'm trying to get my followers up here on YouTube. Let's jump into week 3. Denver, Green Bay. 64% of the bets are on Green Bay, but 55% of the money is on Denver. That tells me that the sharps are on Denver. I guess if this line moves, it's going to go down. I'm going to avoid this game. Both these offenses have looked bad. 15 points a game, and the modern NFL is not very good. But Green Bay's defense, 9.5 points a game. I mean, it helps. They played a not very good Chicago team. They did not look good at all. But I'll probably avoid this game. If I'm going to bet it, it's going to be Denver taking the 7 points. Green Bay could easily win this game by 4, 5, 6. They don't care. They're not trying to smoke anybody. They're trying to get wins, move to 3-0. They don't care about the spread. I know they're 2-0 against the spread, but sharp money's on Denver. I'll avoid that game. Moving on to the next one, Detroit, Philly. The public here, 66%. That's about where the money is as well. There's no sharp action on this game. The line I actually have now, it says 6 here, but the line I have is 5.5. This is another game I'll avoid, but if I was going to bet it, it'd be Detroit. I would try to get them at the 7, or try to take them at 6 if you can, because this line is going to move down probably 4.5, 5 points. Philly's banged up. They took a day off of practice this week just to try to get healthy. Detroit's undefeated, believe it or not. And I know they're 1-0-1, but they haven't lost a game, so they're getting a score here, a touchdown. Maybe I'll put a little bit of money on Detroit, but that's a game. I think we can find better value on this slate. Like I said, Philly's banged up, but we don't know. We don't really know what Detroit is yet. They've played Arizona, and I think they beat Minnesota last week. Yeah, I believe they beat Minnesota. That's a divisional game. We're not really sure what Detroit is. We'll skip that game as well. But if I was forced to bet it, I would take Detroit with those points. Oh, now here's the matchup of the week here. KC, Baltimore. 63% of the bets are on KC, but 56% of the money is on Baltimore. The sharps are on Baltimore, but I'm going to go the other way here. The KC's offense is explosive. Baltimore, this is a little bit skewed here by the 59-point performance against Miami. They haven't looked, they didn't look like a superstar team against the Cardinals. They had to get a stop at the end to win that game. I like KC, given 5.5. I know Tyreek Hill's hurt. Kareem Hunt's moved on, but it doesn't matter. Patrick Mahomes is so good. I'm going to go against the sharps on this one. I like KC. Given a score, I mean, the Ravens are probably going to try to run the ball here, So another number I like here is the under on this 52. I think that's too many, but who knows? Last year they had a shootout. We thought Baltimore would try to run the ball against KC, but that's really KC's weakness is running the ball. But I still think that they cover this number here, 5.5. I like KC at home. I believe it's their first home game. That might not be factual. Let me check on that. I believe I seen that earlier in the week when I was looking that it was their first home game. If that's the case, this is the hardest place in the NFL to play. It's Kansas City. They're gonna blow the roof off that place if it's their home opener against. Yeah, it is their home opener. I love KC here. I'm going to take them. I'm going against the sharp money. We'll talk about that game. We'll talk about what bet I'm going to wager on that later on. Cincinnati, Buffalo. It opened at 4. It moved to 6. I'm not sure why so much movement. Um, let's see who the sharps are on here. 56% of the bets on Buffalo, 52% of the money's on Cincinnati. The sharps like Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati. The Zach Taylor offense, that they're moving the ball. They're going to throw the ball. I know Buffalo's got a good D, but 6 points is a lot. Buffalo's, they need to prove to me that they should be giving somebody a touchdown. I know they're at home, but Zach Taylor's got the running game has been terrible. Joe Mixon has 17 carries for 27 yards in the season, but they've thrown the ball over 90 times. Andy Dalton's thrown the ball. They're gonna have a week here where they put up some points. I can't see laying 6 points against Buffalo, or yeah, with Buffalo. I can't see laying the 6 points. If I had to bet this game, I would bet Cincinnati. I'm actually gonna bet this game. That's one of my picks here. We'll talk about it later. Atlanta Indy. This is a game. Everybody seems to like Atlanta. They looked great against Philly last week. Even the sharp money is on Atlanta. I'm gonna stay away. I'm gonna avoid this game. I don't know if we really don't know who anybody in the NFL is yet. I mean, we know the Chiefs are gonna score. We know, Tom Brady, New England. But these teams like Atlanta and Indy, they're gonna be middle of the pack teams. I'm not sure how they're gonna finish this year. If I had to take a bet, it would be Indy, just because they're giving a point and a half. They're at home. Atlanta didn't look great on the road week one. This is a game I'll probably sit out. This slate is tough. This is a real tough slate. But if I had to bet it, I would take Indy. Just because Vegas doesn't seem to be, this is a little lopsided. And Vegas doesn't seem to be that wrong too often. I'm not sure what this is doing here. I thought we were going in order, game time, but apparently they stuck this Monday night game right here in the middle. We'll come back to it. Oakland and Minnesota. This game is a funny game as well as far as the number is concerned, because the sharps love Minnesota, even at -9. 43% of the bets on Oakland. There's publics on Minnesota. The sharps in Minnesota. This is another game where I'm gonna go against the sharps. I'm gonna take Oakland. They looked great last week in the first quarter against KC. They played 5 solid quarters, and then KC just kind of ran away with it. Minnesota is not KC. Kirk Cousins has barely thrown the ball this year. They like to play conservative. They're not looking to smoke anybody. I know they blew out somebody in week one. They didn't even they threw the ball 10 times, but even if they get a touchdown lead on Oakland here, they could try to milk that clock. Minnesota likes to run the ball. That Oakland offense does not look bad. You're giving them 9. By game time, this is going to move to 9.5, 10 points. I would wait if I'm going to bet this game, and I'm going to take Oakland. I'm going to bet this game. It's not in one of my 6 picks here, but I'm going to bet Oakland this week. I like them. I know we're going against the sharps, but the sharps aren't always right. They miss games too, obviously. All right, Jets, New England. 70% of the bets on the Jet, or on New England rather. 71% of the money. There's no sharp money on this. 22. That's just, for me, it's too many points to lay. This is a game I'll avoid. The Jets are not good. We seen them on Monday night last week. They looked atrocious. New England, they just lost Antonio Brown. That doesn't matter. This line still probably will not move. You know what they're gonna do. They're gonna come out. They're gonna score. If I had to bet, it would be New England. I don't like laying 22 points. I will not lay 22 points. I'll avoid this game. But if you have to pick a winner, I would take New England. But they could just as easily get a 2-touchdown lead and just start running with Sony Michel. Even then, can the Jets stop them? Can the Jets stop them from getting to this 22 number? They'll probably be at 21 point lead by half. So if I was going to bet it, I'd be New England. Another 20-point spread here, 22.5. Miami, they got rid of Fitzpatrick. They're getting rid of everybody. We see what they do. They've been outscored 102-10 through 2 weeks. I'm a Dolphins fan, so this is a disaster. If I was gonna bet it, this is another one I'll avoid. I'm not betting 22-point games in the NFL. I'm just not doing it. These two teams are not showing up this year. It's hard to bet on a team that's quit, and it's also hard to lay 22.5 points in the NFL. So these are games I'm going to avoid. If I had to bet it, I would bet Miami. Let's see if there's any sharp money in this game. No, not really. Um, you know, it's another game I'll avoid. This could get ugly early. Obviously, Dallas is going to win this game. Is it going to be by 15? It's going to be by 40. Who knows? Who knows? There's better value to find on the slate. Giants in Tampa. We all know Eli Manning has been sent to the bench. What a career for Eli. Um, the public's on the Giants. The sharp money is also on the Giants. The Giants are bringing in about 82% of the money here. That scares me a little bit because I am going to bet the Giants. I don't think Tampa should be giving anybody 6 points. Their front seven looked great last week, but they got their running game going a little bit. But they still have Winston. They haven't really shown much through the passing game. I don't see them putting up a ton of points here. They average about 18 a game. Yeah, I mean, this Daniel Jones kid, he might give the Giants a spark. Maybe they'll show up to play. They haven't looked as bad as they did last year. Take the 6 points. This line is gonna move. It's probably gonna move. We'll probably get at about 5 or 4.5 on game day. If that's what it is, I'll stay away. But at 6 points, I'll definitely take the Giants here. All right, we're gonna go into the 4 o'clock games here. That's weird that they put this Monday night. Was this game flexed? Maybe this game was flexed and I missed it. The San Francisco Pittsburgh. I don't know though. Yeah, so we're moving on to the 405 games. Arizona, 65% of the bets. They're getting 55% of the money. That means we have a little bit of sharp action in Carolina. I still like Arizona. We got a second-year quarterback playing for Carolina. Cam Newton is not going to be in there. It's funny that there's a 5.5 point swing here as far as the open and the live spread, but Kyler Murray in the Arizona offense does not look bad. They're fast paced. They've also thrown the ball 90 plus times in 2 weeks. I see them winning this game. I hope it's going to be a tight game. Hopefully it's by a field goal, at least a field goal. The sharp money's on Carolina, but I'm going to go against the sharps. I like Cardinals. This is probably one of my favorite games of the week. Yeah, I just like what they're showing on offense. I know their defense hasn't played great, but they've had a couple of tough opponents as well. Detroit's not really, they don't appear to be a pushover this year, and then Baltimore, Arizona at home. I think they get on track here. I think they're going to pick up a win. They're a little underrated in my opinion. New Orleans, Seattle, 72% of the bets on Seattle. And 44% of the money is on New Orleans, which surprises me. Bridgewater's in there. We know that Drew Brees went down. If I was forced to pick this game, it'd be Seattle -4.5 at home against a quarterback who hasn't seen a ton of field time in a few years. I just can't pick Teddy Bridgewater in Seattle. I know the sharps are. This is a game that I will definitely avoid. I'm not going to bet this game. We got our Arizona here. We got a good late slate. We got 3 other games we can bet. This is one I'll sit out. This 45 number, it's probably a little too high now. Seattle likes to run the ball. I can see New Orleans starting to lean towards that Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray backfield. If I was to bet this game, it'd be the under. The under on this total 45. Houston and LA. LA's laying 3 points. Houston's getting about 80% of the money. That means there's some sharp money in Houston. I disagree. Houston had a rough going on offense last week. Their offensive line is not good. Deshaun Watson's been sacked a whole bunch of times. This Chargers defensive line, we know they got Joey Bosa. They're good. The defensive line's good. They're gonna put pressure on Watson. I like the Chargers -3 here. I'm going against the Sharps. This is, like I said, this is a tough week, but I'm gonna go against the Sharps in a lot of these games for some reason. That worries me, but Chargers are a little banged up, but they're gonna be all right. Keenan Allen's gonna play. We know Melvin Gordon's not there, but Eckler's looked great. Houston's defense is not gonna light the world on fire. But the Chargers can, and the Chargers can score points. I like the Chargers -3. That's a game I'll bet. It's not gonna be one of my 6 picks of the week here, but I'll have some money in the Chargers. I like them. I know it's not really a home game. They don't have home games. It's in LA, but their stadium's usually half empty or filled with the other team. Um, this is a good game on the slate. This is one of my favorite games. Pittsburgh's getting 6.5 points. Big Ben got hurt. We know that. The money here is on Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh. The Sharps are on Pittsburgh. 6.5. San Francisco. That's too many points for them to lay. They've had an easy going here so far. They played Tampa, which they smoked in week 1 with the benefit of a couple pick sixes. Last week they beat the dog snot out of. Let's see. They beat the dog snot out of Cincinnati. We're not really sure what Cincinnati is yet. We're not sure what San Francisco is yet. The Steelers are going to come in. They're going to run the ball. 6.5 points too much. They're going to compete. And when's the last time we've seen the Steelers not compete? It's been a long time. I'm betting this game. I'm betting the Steelers. We'll talk about the units later after this. All right, Sunday night action. The Rams at the Cleveland Browns. Is that the Sunday night game? Oh, yes, this is our Monday night game. Okay. The Rams at the Cleveland Browns. 19%. The Cleveland is getting 3 points. They got 19% of the bets. The money is also on the Rams, which tells me there's no sharp action here. There's about, the Browns didn't look great last week. I know they kind of got out ahead of the Jets. They covered that spread. It was 27-10 or whatever, but the Jets are atrocious. Odell broke that long catch at the end of the game to kind of make it look worse than it was. I'm with the public here. I like the Rams. Giving 3 points. Although it has been 3 games and the Rams offense has not gotten on track. They average 20 points a game. Wow. But their offense hasn't looked up to snub at what it was at one point last year. They looked amazing last year, and they've just really slowed down. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if it's because Todd Gurley's banged up or whatever. But I'm betting this game. If I'm betting this game, which it's a Sunday night game, I'll bet it. I'm going to take this Rams. I'm also going to take the under if I'm betting it. 47. That's maybe not. Maybe I'll just take. I'm sorry, LA. This stuff is subject to change. Sunday comes around, I feel different about stuff. I change my picks. I changed a couple picks last week. I actually did very well, but so did we on our video. So, all right, we're going back to the Chicago-Washington game. 41% of the bets on Washington, but they have 66% of the money. The Sharps are on Washington. I'm on Washington. Chicago averages 9 points a game so far. Washington's been beat twice, but they put up a fight twice. Week 1 against Dallas. Oh no, I'm sorry. They actually got crushed by Dallas last week. No, they lost by 10 points. But that's a divisional game here. They're at home on a Monday night. I expect Washington to show up. I'm still seeing 4. This says 3.5. Hopefully we can keep it at 4. But that 3.5, we still get that extra hook there. Washington could easily win this game. Chicago's looked atrocious. Their offense needs to get on track. I don't know if they have the weapons to. I don't know if Mitch Trubisky's their guy. I like Washington. I'm going to lay some money on Washington here Monday night. So, last week I gave you guys, let's see, I gave you guys 7 games. I'm gonna try to cut that down a little. We're gonna go down to like 5 games, five favorite bets. We're gonna start with KC minus 5.5. Well, for 2 units. Yeah, for 2 units here. I just like them against a young quarterback. I know I keep saying this about Lamar Jackson, but he's a young quarterback. He's bound to make mistakes here at some point. I know Mahomes is, but he's just a world beater. He's special. I don't know if Lamar Jackson is. I mean, he's looked great, but I expect him to come down to earth here at some point. I like the KC at home, and that place is gonna be rocking. Minus 5.5, 2 units. My second bet of the week here is Cincy +6 against Buffalo. We talked about it. Buffalo shouldn't be giving anybody a touchdown. We're gonna lay 2 units on that as well. So I like Cincinnati. I like KC. My third bet is New England over. This over on this New England game. It's a number that popped out to me. I know we don't talk about totals much, but 43.5. That is not high enough. New England can put up 43.5 by themselves. If the Jets score 10 points, this is virtually a lock. 43.5. 10 points. That's all the Jets need. Because we know New England's going to score points. They score fast. They don't make mistakes. They get points on the board. We're gonna do. You know what? We're gonna do 3 units on that one. New England over 3 units. All right, now my fourth pick here. It's Pittsburgh getting 6.5. We're gonna do 3.5 units on this one. I like it. I know there's the only reason it's not my pick of the week. At one point, it was my pick of the week, but Pittsburgh's traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast. I'm not a huge fan of that. That's a long trip. But these guys are professionals. Pittsburgh, they're going to do it right. They're getting 6.5 is too much against a San Fran team that we're not really sure what they are. And then my pick of the week, my favorite pick, we're gonna do 4 units. 4 units on Arizona -2. I know the Sharps are in Carolina. Whatever. I like Murray. We haven't seen anything of this Allen kid. This spread, I'd probably take it at 3.5. 3.5. I would still bet Arizona. Not as much. It wouldn't be my lock of the week, but that's why it is my lock of the week. Arizona -2. Their offense, they're gonna put up points. Carolina, they haven't looked great. There's nothing special about Carolina. They just got beat by the Bucks. I think Arizona's probably a better team than Tampa Bay. I like this. I like it a lot. Well, those are my picks for the week. I really tried to shorten this up because, like I said, nobody wants to watch a half-an-hour video. So we tried to jam some information in there, tell you who I like. Good luck with your picks this week. Good luck, everyone.